Yes, well, your English is very good. You are surprised. Should I be offended? My olive branch is rejected with a scoff. With a scoff. I meant it as a compliment. His eye. Oh my god. He eyes me suspiciously. Flattery doesn't appear to be the right strategy either. Back to business then. Anyway, you mentioned we are just supposed to find him. Who are we meant to find? He blinks at me. Did he not understand? Who are we meeting? They didn't tell you? I thought they were supposed to tell you. Like I said, I found out about this 20 minutes before our meeting. There was no time to discuss any particulars. You have to fill me in. He clicks his tongue in annoyance. He reaches a hand into the inner pockets of his coat, searching for something. I watch on as he pats himself down with a frustrated skull. Finally, he finds what he was looking for, a small photograph. Alors, from the beginning then. He reaches for my hand, taking it in his. His touch is kinder than I don't know, I was going to say kinker. His touch is kinder than I would have thought, but the gesture catches me off guard nonetheless. He flips my hand over and slips the photograph into my palm. I hold it under the bar top, out of sight. Albert Denhan? Albert? No. I was like, this does not sound like a French name. So it's like Albert Denham. Okay. I was looking, how to put it? Like, I was looking, I was like, this does not seem like a French name. Yeah. He entered Germany, how to say it, seeking treatment for an illness. At least that is the excuse. His little spot tour was excellent cover while he watched what the military did along the south border. Okay, from the 70s through the 1930s, it was popular, especially in Europe, to visit spas to take the waters. Bathing or drinking spring water was thought to have healing properties, yes. Many spa facilities would offer social and leisure activities in conjunction with exercise activities and medical treatments. Yeah, it was related to like hot springs. It's more like spas in here. It's more like, it's not in the idea of spas that you have nowadays. It's hot springs, kind of like, okay? You actually still had it through the 1940s too. Yeah, like that idea of like going to the hot springs and being healed by that, and yeah. The southern border. I thought all of the fighting was taking place further north. It is for now. But if they use the fighting in the north to distract while they attack from the south, ce sera intelligent, non? That would be clever, no? So if Denham can pass along the information he's gathered, the Allies will know whether or not to send resources south, yes. So France, the UK, Russia, Canada, and other countries, eventually including the United States in 1917, formed the coalition. Sometimes like the words do not come to me, coalition to fight the Central Powers, Germany, Austria, Hungary, Bulgaria, and the Ottoman Empire. But the Germans are getting méfiant. Suspicious? Ah oui, suspicious. It's making it difficult for him to live on his own. I stowed the photograph away in my handbag. If they are suspicious, why not arrest him? What? J'entends pas. I can't hear you. The music has picked up, eliciting whoops from the crowd. I repeat my question louder this time. I said, why haven't... N'écris pas, bête. Don't shout, stupid. He scots his stool towards me, drawing close. Try again. Why haven't they arrested him? This time I'm heard. These spies are not cheap. The authority will not want to bring him in with no proof when he spent so much gold. If they had real proof, the Germans would have... He slides a finger across his neck. Is his English starting to slip? The wine must be hitting him. Maybe he doesn't remember the word that just had. Or he doesn't want to say it out loud. I'm still working on my first glass, but he's already on his second or third. Who knows how many he had before I got here. Okay. So when we find him, what do we do with him? Help him escape, of course, to La Suisse, a neutral country. Swiss is, they are going to explain it here, it's Switzerland. Remained neutral throughout the First World War. Germany never marched through Switzerland in dire part due to the mountainous terrain, instead opting to march through Belgium. When he speaks, he leans in to talk directly into my ear. The hum of his voice sends an intentional shiver down my spine. It's an intimate sensation. With him so close, I can see the freckles dusting his nose. I get the feeling he's older than me, but not by much. I ponder this, all the while fighting the urge to scowl at the cigarette smoke drifting between us, blowing into my face. It's distractingly unpleasant. That sounds difficult, especially if he's being watched. Endivement, obviously. I scoot back to escape the smoke. Emile frowns at me and grabs my stool, dragging it towards him, leaving almost no space between us. Why do you keep moving away? I'm trying to make it so we can hear each other. It's hard to talk to someone with a lit cigarette in your face. What am I supposed to do? Not smoke? We're in a fucking bar. I'm unable to hide my displeasure any longer. Displeasure. He pulls out his cigarette case and opens it for me, clearly not understanding the problem. Have one, then we'll be even. No thanks. He snaps the case closed with a crown. If you don't stop looking like I pissed in your wine, someone going to get the wrong idea and try to rescue you. You are pretty enough. I'm sure they are just waiting for a chance. He's not wrong. As I look around the room, I spy several soldiers milling about, all likely in search for a sweet memory to carry with them to the front. Their desperation is palpable as they scan the room for female company. Emile puts his finger under my chin and brings my attention back to him. Do you need rescuing? I resist the urge to roll my eyes. No. I swat his hand away. He frowns and grumbles into his wine glass before finishing it off. You little bourgeois. I want to say to you, you have a word for this. Wait, let me see. Materialistic, consumption-driven, and conventional qualities negatively associated with the upper and middle classes. Yeah. I bet you have the translation of these words for you do. Yes. Oh no, you have it in the same ways. Bourgeoisie. Yeah, you have it in the same way. I thought you had like a real English word to define it. Yeah, our social class. It was like, yeah, like you had the clerks and the nobles. Yeah, a social class of business owners, merchants, and wealthy people in general, which emerged in the late Middle Ages. Yeah, so like you had like the nobles, and you had like the clerk, and you had like the peasants, and you also had an arising social class, which was la bourgeoisie. And he's calling her that kind of like in a sarcastic way. I don't know how to put it. It's like in a sarcastic way. You little bourgeois, act doesn't impress me, Lily, and don't think for a second I'm going to put up with you being difficult. Not if we're going to have to pretend to be married. I outwardly balk, having lost all patience with this man. Who would believe us as a couple? Pardon? You can't even bother to get my name right. What did I say? You said Lily again. It's Lillian. Emile sighs. Lillian, whatever. Just go with whatever happens tomorrow, okay? Yeah, this is like one of those. It's like, I can call her Lillian, which sounds more English for you. But I think she's trying to say more like Lillian, which is written in the same way, but it has a French sound to it. I don't want to get cock. Neither do I, but I'm not convinced we could keep up the act of being married. No matter how difficult it would be to travel as a single man and a single woman, I have to imagine that it would be easier than playing house with this jerk. I wonder if he's thinking the same thing, because he pauses mid-sip, taking a moment to consider me. Have you ever done anything like this before? No? What? Really? For a second, he's not able to mask his surprise. Before I can respond, though, we are interrupted. Mademoiselle, est-ce que cet homme vous dérange? Miss, is this man bothering you? Feeling a hand on my shoulder, I jump. I hadn't noticed the soldier making his way towards me. Emile leans back in his chair, gloating. He was right about me drawing unwanted attention. Margot said something similar earlier about the need to hide my reactions better. Clearly, this is something I need to work on. Now I have to send this would-be savior away, even if Emile's smirk is daring me to do otherwise. I turn to face the soldier and immediately regret it, as he's swaying quite drunkenly above me. I silently will his drink to stay in its glass, lest I receive a faceful of beer. Vous voulez que je m'occupe de ces gares, mademoiselle? Like, do you want me to take care of like this guy? Yeah, do you want me to beat this guy up, miss? It's more like, do you want me to take care of him in that way, in that matter? Yes. Je suis un très bon combattant et un très bon amant aussi. Okay. So I'm a very good fighter and a good lover too. Look at her face. She's like panicking. He throws a clumsy wink at me, then a venomous look at Emile. And then, yeah, during those times, you had like a ton of guys, especially in Europe, using these type of mustaches. Yeah, you had like a ton of them. Non, je vais bien, merci. No, I'm fine, thank you. Oh, allez. Tu dis quoi d'une petite danse? Oh, come on, how about a little dance? Elle a dit non. Va te faire foutre, moustache. The lady said no. Fuck off. Yeah, like, va te faire foutre. Yeah, that's more like fuck. Yeah, a moustache. Ignoring Emile, the soldier attempts to reach out and touch my shoulder again, but his wavering makes him stumble, and the contents of his drink that were threatening to spill out fulfill their prophecy. I'm splashed from neck down in warm beer. I jump up. For a moment, there is nothing but silence as I stare down at my now soaked front while the soldier looks on in horror. The irony of the situation is not lost on me. I did the exact same thing to someone earlier this evening. But that was on purpose. And I have zero interest in the person who just drenched me. Yeah, she was like acting as a spy, you know, all of that scene of her kissing the other and getting into him and all of it. It was just the spy work. Ah, je suis désolée. Oh, sorry. Vous voulez mon mouchoir? Do you want my handkerchief? He fishes a crumpled rag out of his jacket pocket. Oh my god, no, I don't want. And meekly holds it out to me. I've never wanted anything less. I ball my fists. You idiot. Ok, si je me rattrape, vous voulez un autre verre? Okay, how about I make it up to you? Would you like another drink? This dress was 60 francs, and now it smells like swile. I'm livid. I snatch his handkerchief out of his hand and throw it in his face. Mets-les-toi dans les couilles. Shove it up your ass. Ton verre et ton chiffon répugnant. That drink and that nasty rag. I hear Emile's bark of laughter from behind. The soldier merely ganks at me. We've attracted the attention of several bar patrons who look on with excitement and anticipation, their eyes ping-pong between me and the soldier, eager to see how this unfolds. The soldier, perhaps noticing that all eyes are now on him, puffs up a little. Comment t'oses me parler comme ça, sale pute américaine? How dare you talk to me like that, you American whore? The slap I deliver to his cheek makes him stumble slightly. The crowd around us gasps and guffons. Tire-toi ou je visserai tes couilles la prochaine fois. Okay. Tire-toi ou je visserai tes couilles la prochaine fois. Okay. Yeah, because I was like, yeah, it's balls. Yes. Get lost or I go for your balls next time. I was trying to think about it. Yeah, I think it's balls. Yeah. Okay, because you say balls, like, you know, like you have balls and you have your balls down there. Okay. But the way we say, like in here, the French say, and even in my native language, we say it, it's not related to balls. Okay, and that's why I was reading and I was like, yeah, I think it's that. The soldier, no doubt cowed at being bullied by a woman, finally scuttles away. The crowd claps and I return to my seat with a relieved sigh. I reach for a bar napkin, pouting slightly as I sat to work, soaking up the beer on my chest. Yeah. I really like the visuals, but I keep having like these issues with the text boxes, you know, where I need, like in this one, it's the eternal thing of like reading from one side to the other. I mean, we've seen worse. But the thing is, you have the the italic font, and it's a serif font too. So it's like, and this is actually like the italic one is pretty good for the thoughts and all of it. So it's not bad to be used in here. It's just like, because it's used with a serif font, it kind of creates like a messed up situation in your head. Emile refills both of our glasses before leaning against the bar and gazing at me with... Is that some sort of respect? That was rude. I know, can you believe that guy? No, I mean you. Me. Yeah, he will go back to the front tomorrow, and his last memory before he gets blown up will be of you threatening to break his balls. Poor bastard. I'm starting to hate the fact that he speaks English so well. He's still somehow better than you. He's at least making an admirable sacrifice for his country. It's not making a sacrifice when there's a draft. So, in the early 90s, France conscripted all fit men of age to serve in the military for a 3-year period from the age of 20. Yeah, and then you had that for all of the other countries too. And we had that for a lot of years until, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or something that they stopped this. But you would have to go. Is that why you aren't at the front? With an irritated sigh, he puts out his cigarette. Never mind, it's none of my business. It's not. But I understand why you asked. I'm the right age. I'm fit enough. The answer is because I am doing this instead. Given the choice, I'll rather be here. Was he given a choice? Curious, I wonder how that came about. But he doesn't seem very forthcoming with details. It's probably a waste of time to ask, so I move on. Right, so where exactly is Denham right now? Ah, bon sang. Are you that determined to be boring? We were starting to have a good time. This is what you call a good time? I'm soaked in beer and I almost got into a fight. Yeah, it was very entertaining. Yeah, it's like, okay, so you have like the libertines. You understand the meaning of this word? So it's something that came from the revolution in France. And so you have like a lot of French people, even during the 90s, that still have like this way of being of a libertin, which is what categorizes Emile. He is a libertin. Okay, a libertin. I don't know how you would put it. I don't know how you would say it. So yeah, he enjoys kind of like being like this, like, I don't know, a ruffian, and at the same time doing whatever he wants and causing all of this chaos. Yeah. Better than going to the cinema. We have very different definitions of fun, it seems. Listen, can you just tell me where to find Denham? Bon, d'accord. Geez, fine then. Denham is waiting for us at the hotel in Lorach, the Hotel Lowen. I don't actually know because this seems more like German words, and I do not know Deutsch. And he's an American like you. That should make it easier to talk to him. Why? Because we Americans all know each other? In Europe, yes. I can't tell if he's joking, so I mentally wave away the comment in favor of reviewing the mission. I understand what he's trying to say, which is, in Europe, imagine during those times, in Europe, Americans would probably try to seek other Americans. Why? In America, you only have one type of culture and one type of language. In Europe, is not like that. You have tons of different cultures, tons of different languages. So, like, he's being sarcastic, but at the same time, I was laughing because I was like, yeah, that's right. Like, you try to seek people with whom you can communicate with. Because, I mean, unless you are going to talk with the British people, I mean, who are you going to talk to, you know? Nowadays it's different, okay? We all know, most of the countries in here know English. But during those times, French was actually the most common globalized language that you had. It wasn't English. So Americans would seek probably the ones they could talk to, which would be or the Britons or another Americans, you know. So he's being sarcastic, but I'm kind of like grasping what he's trying to say. Enter an enemy country detected, find the agent Herbert Denham, and help him cross the border without raising suspicion. This assignment doesn't really play to any of my strengths. And what exactly does Emile bring to the table? If this Laus is the only person able to help me, I might be better off on my own. What's wrong? He eyes me as he lights a new cigarette. Why send us together? Surely this sort of thing shouldn't need more than one agent. You trying to get rid of me? Yes. No. He's more perceptive than I initially gave him credit for. You speak German, right? And I know how to get us across the border. I'm not sure what getting across the border surreptitiously, I'm sorry, I do not know how to say this, requires. I could probably figure something out if push came to shove. I'm resourceful. His confidence in his own skills is assuring, but it doesn't remove my reservations about this partnership. They must have thought we'll make a good team. He offers me a crooked smile, the first one I've seen all night that wasn't at my expense. Is this a peace offering? Or maybe they think you need a babysitter since it is your first time. In case you fuck up. Ah, there it is. I force a smile in return. Oh, if I fail, rest assured I'm taking you down with me, monsieur. Emile laughs at my parry. C'est mérité. Fair enough. It's more like, it's just, you know, I see. He just wants someone to go back and forth with him. This is a game. What? I just thought my first wife would have bigger tits. An outrageous thing to say, but it's part of the game. Yeah, he's like a libertin. I don't know how to put it, but they just act like this. They just act like this. And you had a ton of them in France during these times and even before these times. Yeah, you had a ton of them. I mean, even nowadays you do find like a lot of French that act like this. Yeah, it comes from history, you know, it's ingrained in their blood. Now it's my turn. You just heard me treating. God, I need to rest a bit because now I'm processing one and the other, and it's just okay. You just heard me threaten to punch someone in the balls. I need to like tell myself switch to the English thing. You aren't exempt from that either. When he doesn't get the shocked reaction he was expecting, he laughs. You are welcome to try, Lillian. Success. We could have another drink and keep playing, but I have all the information I need now for the mission. And there are things to do before I leave, packing for starters. Not to mention a conversation with Margot if she's still awake. Well, I should get going. Allez, t'es sérieux? Oh, come on, seriously? Stay. You were just starting to be fun. I have to get home and start preparing. You should too. He pouts and turns away from me. I watch him silently tip the wine bottle over his glass. A lone drop falls out. He's clearly drunk, but I can't make him go home. Giving up, I slide off of my stool. I'm about to replace my coat, but think better of that when I remember I'm covered in beer. It will be cold, but I'll rather not have to launder the coat too if I can avoid it. I'm only 2 steps away from the bar when Emile calls out to me. Are you planning on going to every train station in Paris, or do you want me to save you that trouble and tell you where we'll meet? Unless you are still trying to get rid of me. He's kidding, but in truth, I hadn't eliminated that possibility. It might not be fair to judge someone by a first impression, but he seems challenging. But I owe it to Margot to speak with her first before I write him off entirely. Turning back, I see Emile sitting with his elbow on the bar and his head in his hands. I can already tell he's going to be difficult about this too. Well, he stays mum. His eyes flick down to my stool, signaling that he's waiting for me to sit. I'm running out of patience, but lower myself into the seat, hoping to get this over with sooner rather than later. As soon as I do, he perks up. Another bottle then? Don't you dare. He grins. Gare de platform 3. Okay. I nod and start to leave once again, but he grabs my wrist. Remember, 11 a.m. Don't be late. Gare de l'Est. Okay. It's like switching sometimes is difficult because one thing that you will notice is that in French there's a lot of words that you kind of like you eat those words. You do not speak them. You eat those words, or you continue the word with the next word as it was just one word. I don't know how to put it in another way, but French does a lot of this. Depending, like if it's like an S, you will probably like just continue the word with the other one. And the thing is, since I'm processing one and then I'm switching back to the other one, sometimes I get myself like, do I say the T or do I not say the T? And then it gets messy. As expected, the night air is unpleasant and chilly against my skin. I call for a cab to take me back towards the 16 arrondissement where Margot resides with the other well-to-do of Paris. Even at night, the streets here are well lit, illuminating the light-colored brick of the stately townhomes. Yeah, I think I'm also already having some difficulty with the font in here. This evening was less than ideal. I'll go as far as to say terrible. Emile was terrible. Why would Margot partner me with someone so awful? Was it because his English is so good? It's convenient, but I'm perfectly capable of working with non-English speakers. Margot knows that. When I go to the back entrance of Margot's home, I find the door unlocked. I fumble through my handbag in search of the key, but end up dropping it on the ground, spilling the contents everywhere. Shoot. The door opens while I'm still kneeling on the ground, scrounging for my things. Mademoiselle Lillian. Sophie greets me already in her night clothes. Je vais vous aider. Let me help you. As she bends down to help me gather my belongings, she wrinkles her nose, likely in response to the smell of smoke and beer that permeates my clothes. Once my things are restored, Sophie helps me to my feet. Vous allez bien, mademoiselle? Are you all right? She's understandably worried, having never seen me in such a state. As much as I would like to take a bath and change outfits, Margot is waiting for me. Just dandy, Sophie. Où est madame dans les bureaux? Where is madame in the study? Sophie eyes me warily. Oui, mais... Yes, but... merci. Thanks. I thrust my coat into the arms of the bewildered Sophie, then head upstairs. Margot's study is something of a sanctuary to her. When I first started as her companion, it was the one room in the house I was forbidden to enter. It wasn't until I began my training that I was allowed inside. In the daylight, this room had a light, weary feeling like the rest of the house. But in lamplight, the corners felt darker, as if the room shrank to fit Margot alone. At the center of the room was a set of chairs with curved, spindled edges, chosen for their aesthetic rather than their comfort. No one was meant to sit there for long. Bookshelves lined the walls from floor to ceiling, her private collection. The real purpose of the room was to house Margot's writing desk, where she'll work late into the night, if at home. Hanging behind the desk was an imposing full-body portrait of a gorgeous woman in a long, luxurious black gown. This was Margot 30 years ago in her prime. It's a sergeant, she told me once, painted before he was cast away of the Parisian saloons. Sergeant, sorry. Yeah, a sergeant. No, wait. Sergeant. No, it's a sergeant. Okay, I thought it was like sergeant. John Singer Sargent was considered the leading portraitist of the Edwardian era. His painting, Portrait of Madame X. Oh, I know who it is. Okay, now I see. Because I was like, who are we talking about in here? Was considered so scandalous at the time of its exhibition in 1884 that the backlash forced Sargent to leave France for England. Yeah, Sargent. That's why I like sergeant and sergeant and yeah, okay, I see it. Okay. That's why I was kind of like, it's one, it's the other. Okay, yeah. At first, the study presented itself as a secret that I was being let in on. I felt unnerved by it and what it represented for this new facet of Margot and I relationship. Now, however, it simply feels like a base of operations. I knock at the door. Entrez. Enter. As expected, Margot is hard at work at her desk. She lowers her reading glasses, leaving them on the table as she takes in my disheveled state. You had quite the night out. I did. I won't be going back to La Libellule. Libellule, yeah, by choice anytime soon. She smirks and extends her hand, inviting me to sit. I perch myself delicately on a chair, the places of my dress where the beer has dried crunch unpleasantly. So I take it you met with Mr. Desrosiers. How did you find him? Difficult. Margot laughs. That doesn't surprise me. Why? What does his file say? He reminds me of my first husband. Margot likes to bring up her first husband, Max Lagarde, as a cautionary tale. He was handsome but had a terrible character. Ville was Ville, yeah, was Margot's choice of word for him. Vile, it's the same thing. But I think you'll find that men like Mr. Desrosiers have their uses. Max had his too, for all his faults. I trust Margot and her judgment, but I can't fathom what uses she thinks Emile will have. Well, they are usually men that can be very like, how should I put it? They can escape situations and they can, they are usually very handyman kind of type of guys. Yeah. Still, I'm a little concerned about working with Mr. Desrosiers. The thing with the libertins is that they are usually like, yeah, they are usually like some kind of like MacGyvers, you know, like they can be very creative type of guys, especially when they want to like do things for themselves. And yeah, I didn't get the impression he was taking things seriously at all. Whatever impression he gave you, trust me when I say he's motivated. If you say so. I bit my lip. You are worried. This was also last minute. I'm sorry for sending you off without much explanation. I hope Mr. Desrosiers was forthcoming with the details. I think I got the information I'll need, but I don't want to sound ungrateful or question Margot further, but since meeting Emile and getting the specifics of the job, there has been something bothering me. I have to say, this mission doesn't seem to be what I've trained it for. No. Margot walks around to the other side of her desk, slowly running her hand over a paperweight as if lost in thought. Herbert Denham is a friend. Okay. We met each other in Africa years ago. Her features soften in a way that I rarely see. He's a good man, and his predicament seems to be rather dire. I'm worried if the Bureau doesn't take action now. It may be too late for Herbert. The information he's gathered is important, but I'll be lying if I said this wasn't personal too. I just don't want to let you down, madame. She gives me a gentle smile. How many years have you been with me now, ma fleur? Nearly 2. I would not have invested so much in you for so long if I did not trust you entirely. And as for Mr. Desrosiers, well, he may provide what you lack. His background is very different from yours, as is his skill set. Together, I think there are good odds of you succeeding. I let this vote of confidence wash over me. I want so badly for this to succeed, to reward Margot's faith in me. If she thinks Emile and I will be a good team, I owe it to I owe it to her to try. And perhaps I shouldn't judge Emile by his drunken behavior. I was probably seeing him at his worst. Things might look entirely different in the light of day. How early will you be leaving tomorrow? No later than 10. You should go make your preparations then. Oh, and make sure Sophie uses baking soda on that stain. Way ahead of you. With that, I leave Margot to her work and head to the bath. The next morning, I head to the Gare de oh my god. Yeah, because like when you read like Gare de Elle, you do not actually read the S and the T. But if you had like a vowel after, you would probably read it. I don't know how to put it. It's kind of like how the French language kind of works, with plenty of time. It's crowded here with people coming and going, and especially crowded with soldiers, though I hope they are doing the former. Footsteps echo as travelers run for their trains. Voices from the crowd seem to reverberate against the high ceilings, melting into an undeterminate dim. I've been milling around the platform for 15 minutes now, but there's no sign of Emile yet. I look at the large clock overhead. He told me not to be late. It looks like I'm the one waiting around. Hypocrite. For the sake of killing time, I pull a map from my handbag and begin studying it. The city of Lörrach, I think it's Lörrach, is situated in Germany. Yeah, I was like, I look at this type of word and I was like, it seems like a German type of word, you know. Situated in Germany's southern border along the bank of Rhine, across the river from the Swiss city of Basel. Since you cannot travel directly from France to Germany anymore, we'll most likely take a train to Switzerland. I don't know if it's Basel, if it's Basel. I think it's Basel. I don't know the names of cities in Europe, okay? Because some of them are really hard even to say, so I do not know. My map doesn't refold quite as easily, but after some creative creasing, I managed to get it back down its original size and shape. I look at the clock again. It's now 11:30 and still no sign of Emile. I tap my foot, but it fails to distract me from my own anxiety. Where the hell is he? He didn't mention our departure time, but I'm starting to worry that we may be cutting it close. I head over to the timetable posted on the wall. Yeah, like they didn't actually set a time nor really like a place, so it's kind of like There is only one direct route to Basel. I'm going to call it Basel. I'm sorry, people from that place, that I'm ignorant. Sorry. And that train leaves in 50 minutes. Okay. I scramble over to the line to purchase tickets. The ticket seller warns me that I'll likely not make it in time, but I insist on 2 tickets, toss my money on the counter, and run back to the platform. I'm out of breath when I get there, but the train is still boarding. Whipping my head around, I search for Emile, but to no avail. If I board this train now, I'll be on my own. He may or may not catch up. If we aren't on this train, I'm not sure we'll get to Lörrach today. Margot did warn that time was of the essence. One of the attendants sticks his head out of the vestibule. Vous montez, mademoiselle? Are you boarding, miss? Oh, can I save? I haven't saved it yet. Oh my god, sometimes I get like so into things that I don't. Board the train and leave without Emile, wait for Emile and miss this train. Let's board. Let's do it. The train whistles shrieks. I grit my teeth. This is it. I have to go now. Oui, j'arrive. Yes, I'm coming. As the words leave my lips, I see the driving roads start to shift. The train starts grounding forward. Dépêchez-vous. Hurry up. He holds out his hand to me. I haul my luggage forward for him to catch, walking alongside the train to keep pace. Grabbing my wrist, he whips me up into the doorway. Merci beaucoup, monsieur. He tips his hat at me before scooping up my bags and leading me to the train car. I make myself comfortable in a vacant seat, letting the attendant stow my luggage overhead. My stomach flutters wildly. I try to gather my thoughts as I settle in, removing my hat and gloves. This is crazy. I shouldn't be doing this alone. But what other choice did I have? Emile never showed. In a strange way, I did get my wish. I have to wonder if that's a good thing, though. I hug myself and rest my head against the window to steady my nerves. I'm no stranger to travel, but it has mostly been chaperoned. The kinds of trips that would be deemed proper for a young lady. This is entirely different. There is no safety net. The prospect of crossing the border on my own and under false pretenses is daunting to say the least, and that's the easy part. Getting back to Switzerland with Den Han in tow will be harder. I just have to hope that Emile catches up later if he wants to, that is. For all I know, he may have quit spy work after meeting me last night. Gazing out the window, I barely take in the city passing by. Instead, I'm picturing the task ahead of me and coming up blank. What should I expect? I don't know if we're going to get a bad ending with this choice of mine, but I'm kind of like, whatever, let's just see. I feel like I'm walking down a dark hallway, knowing only that I need to reach the end of it. As the train pushes away from the city, the buildings begin to melt into farms. The land starts growing greener. One could almost forget that there is a war being waged just east of here. After a while, the initial anxieties I felt subside, leaving boredom in their wake. The rhythm of the train rocks me back and forth, and my eyelids begin to grow heavy. No, I can't fall asleep, not while traveling alone. I need something to keep me awake. Perhaps a game? What can you tell me about that person? This is a question Margot asked me often when she first took me in. It was her way of testing my observation skills and deductive reasoning. I covertly direct my attention to my fellow passengers. On the opposite side of the car is a small family. The mother is dressed in black. She is in mourning. The father is nowhere to be seen, perhaps lost at the front. Her two children, a boy and a girl, look too young to be of much help to their exhausted mother. The girl tugs on her mother's skirts, begging for her mother to kiss the winking doll clutched in her own arm. The boy swings his skinny legs back and forth, kicking the seat in front of them. I hope this family is on their way to a relative who might provide assistance. Little ones are a handful, even in the best of times. A few seats over from the family is a pair of nuns. The elder of the two has the sheen coating her face. I suppose their habits must be very warm. Then again, the younger of the two seems perfectly comfortable, so comfortable that she is starting to nod off. The elder nun is watching her companion, waiting. As the younger finally gives in to the call of sleep, the elder lifts a shaking hand into her robes and pulls out a flask. I guess she has a drinking problem. God is still watching, sister. My eyes then come to rest on the man sitting across the aisle from me. There is no silver in his blonde hair, but there are the slightest lines near his eyes. He's in his early 30s, I'll wager. His suit is pressed and well cared for, but not ostentatious. He's definitely not a soldier. Perhaps he has the connections to avoid the front. The newspaper open in front of him seems to have his rapt attention. He appears to be traveling alone, which could mean he's here on business. A salesman, perhaps? I'll certainly buy whatever he had to sell. I wince at myself. Down, girl. But he is handsome, and there's no ring on his finger. Interesting. I watch his eyes scan the contents of his newspaper. They are brown, no lighter, maybe hazel? Suddenly, those hazel eyes are locked with mine. I instinctively look away. Damn, I should have been more subtle. While making my observations, Margot would be clicking her tongue at me in disapproval right now. Were she here? I give the man a darting glance to see if he has returned his attention to his paper. Our eyes meet again. Shoot. Well, now it's awkward if I don't acknowledge it. I offer a small, somewhat apologetic smile. He responds with a friendly wave. Having satisfied the social contract, he returns to his reading and I to my thoughts. Yeah, you would probably like smile and just bow your head a little bit. Not talking about like the Asian type of bowing, you know. It's just like bowing a bit, you know, like yeah, kind of like yeah, good morning, you know, things like that. More than just like smiling. Unfortunately, my thoughts keep turning back to him. I have an urge to steal another glimpse. When I ultimately give in, I'm startled to find him already watching me, his paper abandoned and folded in his lap. Heat blossoms on my cheeks, prompting him to smile. It's a nice smile, too, the kind that draws people in. We hold each other's gaze for a moment. Now that we've made contact, neither one of us seems sure of what to do. After a bit, he seems to find his way again, giving a meaningful look towards the other passengers as if to say, "Did you see that?" He's directing my attention to the nuns. I nod my head enthusiastically, motioning my hands in the sign of the cross, then dip my hand like a bottle to my lips. We both look back to the nun just in time to see her sneak another swig from her flask, causing us both to laugh. I finally lean over the easel to speak to him. Vous pensez que c'est Léo Sorry. Vous pensez que c'est Léo bénite or du vin sacrificiel? Do you suppose that's holy water or sacrificial wine? This is actually laughable. He knits his brow and then offers an apologetic smile. Je suis désolé, mon français n'est pas très bon. I'm sorry, my French isn't that good. Oh, my eyes fall down to the paper on his lap. Deutsch, allgemein Zeitung. I don't know how to talk in Dutch. That's a German paper. How did I not notice that before? This may be a chance to practice my skills. I repeat my joke. Okay, meinen Sie, das ist Weinstwasser oder Opfernwein? I don't know if it's like this. I have no idea. But I know that they kind of like sound like this. A look of delighted surprise crosses his face. Ich würde wagen Bates, aber es sieht nicht so aus, als würde sie hat irgendwelche Wunder vollbringen. I have no idea, sorry. I'll say both, but it doesn't look like she'll be performing any miracles today. Okay, I'm not going to continue like with the German one, the Deutsch, because I do not know. And, you know, like French is like it's bad, but it's not completely in a bad way. But yeah, Deutsch, I really don't know. His response makes me chuckle. How lucky am I that you speak German? I mean, his teeth are kind of like a bit awkward. I modestly look down almost by a reflex before looking back at him through my lashes. He shifts his body to face the eyes, opening himself to the conversation. Yeah, no. How lucky am I to meet someone to practice my German with? I have to say, it's rather bold of you to be reading a German newspaper on a train full of French people. Yeah. He gives himself a evasive shrug. I thought I could get away with it since it isn't so crowded here. Some. I don't know how to say this. You are very observant. Americaneering. Okay, are you American? Forgive me, I was guessing based on your accent. The way he enunciates his English almost sounds British. He must have learned it in some fancy European school. Yes, it's because that's what I said. In Europe, the English that we learn is usually the academic type of English, but it's like the British one, okay? So yeah, we are always going to have like that type of accent. Does he come from money? Your German is very good though, as is your French, I'm assuming. Well, I still have work to do if you could tell that I was American right away. Not at all. 3 languages is very impressive for one person. It was the only way my parents would agree to finishing school in Europe. They wouldn't say yes unless I could ask them in at least 2 other languages. Yeah, like that's another thing, which is like in here in Europe, you tend to have at least 2 languages. You need to learn at least two languages. And I'm talking about mandatory school. You understand? Like you have to learn 2 of them. You can learn more, but in here, because we have so many countries in Europe, it's like you are obliged to learn 2 languages. And although during my time we only started having English after like the 5th grade. Actually, yeah, during the 5th grade, you already had English, yeah. You could choose between French or English. The thing is, English was very trendy when I was in my 5th grade. And although I chose French, I ended up having English because there was not enough people in my class to actually go to the French classes. So I had to do English instead. But nowadays, because, you know, I'm old, I already told you. Nowadays, they start having English since the first class, you know, first grade, that's it. Since the 1st grade, elementary, in here in Portugal, you start having English since the beginning. So actually, my country is like considered a place where people are very, very okay to... Tourists are very okay to come in here and talk in English because most of us, we can talk back. Although you have better places than that, like the Netherlands. Yeah, they have English as like the 2nd official language. It's not the same in here. In here, it's like the Portuguese. But the difference is that in here, in my country, we like you go to Spain, and the culture that they have is that, and I'm talking about Spain, I could be talking about France, I could be talking about Germany, any other country in here. Italy, for instance, you go to those places and imagine you go to the theater and the movies are dubbed. They are dubbed in their own language. In Portugal, is not like that. We never dub the movies. We keep them in their original language. If it's in English, it's in English. If it's in Swedish, it's in Swedish. We keep them. What this creates is that we have a lot more of like a way to be open to hear and to learn other languages, because we were never influenced just by one single language. So there's like a lot of people that come in here and say, oh, compared to like other countries in Europe, your English is, they usually say your English is actually not that bad. I mean, yeah, we all have an accent, but they usually say that because of that. So I wouldn't say like older people, because yeah, French used to be the one that used to be taught at school, but like younger generations, most of the people you will find in here, they will know how to talk in English with you, and they will know how to talk in English in a very good English, I would tell you like that. Yes, yeah, we kind of have that. But it's what I was saying is that it's normal in here. Like, I know that it's not the same, for instance, in America, but because we have so many countries in here, it's normal for us to have at least to learn at least 2 languages. That is the normal thing. Although nowadays they are like, you can have well, English is the one that you need to have from elementary. Then you can choose to have Deutsch, German. You can choose to have French. You can choose to have Spanish. You can choose to have Chinese too, Mandarin, Chinese too. Yeah, you can have Chinese in here too if you want. It's not so common, but yes, you can have two. So yeah, you can have any of those. You can even have more. Like what I'm saying is that in public schools, you can have like those. Yes, Chinese is not as usual. You have in some though, some public schools. Yes, I know a bit more than just French and German, but no need to bring that up. I don't want to seem braggadocious, okay, even though I feel like he'll praise me for it. My knack for languages is a large part of why Margot took me on in the first place. Then it's like, when I was in the US, we would go to a diner, basically, and I would have like people coming from all over the world around me. So I would listen, like I would be sitting here, and right next to us, there would be like someone seated at the next table that was like talking in Spanish. Then on my right side, there was like another table with other people talking in French. And, and sometimes I would get like, sometimes I would say to my ex-husband, I would say that let's just go. I cannot be this, because my mind is processing all of these languages at the same time, and it's bothering me because yeah. I can't wait to tell her how I got to use my German without even leaving France. So you are here for school. Not anymore. I fell in love with Paris and decided to stay after graduation. Nothing expands one's horizons quite like travel. Now, yeah, and it's good to do it while you have the time, even if you have to do it alone. Yes. A slight knot forms in my stomach. A young woman traveling alone through a war-torn continent looks foolish. Not that it's my fault. You Americans are so, wie sagt man? I don't know. I study his face as he searches for the word. Ridiculous. Reckless. Foolhardy. Intrepid. He beams at me. You are like Nellie Bly. An American investigative journalist famed for taking a trip around the world in a record-breaking of 72 days. That's a flattering assumption. The truth is, my travel companion abandoned me. It must have been quite the emergency to keep them away from someone like you. I'll gladly take their place if you'll have me. This could be a pleasant distraction from my anxieties. After all, it's not a short train ride. That would be wonderful. He smiles as he slips across the aisle to sit with me. I don't like so much the the smile with showing the teeth. I don't know. It feels like awkward. With him so near now, I can't help but feel a little giddy. He will definitely be distracting. As he gets settled, a stray blonde hair comes loose from his pomaded head and falls over one of his eyes. He doesn't brush it back, instead giving me his full attention. Yeah, I wish this text box was, I don't know, imagine not putting the sentences this long around the frame, you know, not around it, like stretch it in the frame, you know. Yeah, a little bit more centered, so I wouldn't move my head so much. He's oddly carefree for someone so seemingly put together. What should I call you, Fräulein? I am Lillian. Oh, you want me to call you by your first name? It suddenly occurs to me that he might see this as rude or presumptuous. Sorry, that isn't customary here, is it? No, but for you, I'll make an exception. I'm Anton. So, what you waiting for in the Switzerland, Lillian? My lips part, ready with an answer, then abruptly close. Since I boarded the train so quickly, I hadn't really given proper thought to my cover story. His brows knit together in concern as I flounder. A visit to relatives is a safe enough reason to give. No one wants to get too deep into someone else's family business. I'm visiting an uncle. Another expat like me. So it runs in the family then. Yes, wanderlust must be hereditary. He chuckles. You have a wonderful sense of humor. That's not hereditary, I'm afraid. My father especially, he thinks W.C. Fields is a Buffon, an American comedian and stage performer. I have a brother who is the same way. Nothing is funny to that man. Sounds like the two of us are the black sheep of our families then. Black sheep? The ones who stand out from the rest of the flock. That's cute. I can't take credit, it's just one of those phrases. We Germans have a lot of those, but they are mostly about sausage. You are joking, he's not. I'm not, for instance, we say, spiel nicht die belegte Leberwurst. I don't know what I said. Don't play with the sulking liver first. Yeah, don't pout, more or less. Es ist mir Wurst. I don't know. That's my sausage. You use that to mean that something doesn't really matter. Then there is alles hat ein and nur die Wur hat Wein. Svein. I have no idea what I'm saying. Everything has an end, only sausage has two. You see. I could go on, but I'm sure you don't want to talk about sausages for the rest of the trip. Yeah, that, you know, like you have like this thing with Germans, which is like, yeah, they really do love their sausages. And they eat like sausages every day. It's something that is crazy. Oh, I don't know. Sausages can be quite diverting. Oh, indeed. We try our best to hold a straight face, but we end up giggling together like a pair of schoolmates nonetheless. I clear my throat and sit up straight. Okay, I've gotten the dirty jokes out of the way. We have to have an adult conversation now. Nah, yeah, you are right. What do adults talk about? Banks? Such an American thing too, yeah. He makes a face. The weather? Main Gare. Adults are boring. Maybe we are better off talking about sausages? Well, I'll ask you a question then. Before you said you could tell I was American by my accent. Have you met any Americans? A few through business. I had some dealings with a man from New York City. The way he described it made it sound incredible. I'll really love to visit someday. You are not from New York, are you? No, San Francisco. It's on the West Coast. What is it like there? I tell him all about growing up in San Francisco. Most of my memories are of the city under construction after the earthquake and fire of the 1906. As disastrous as it was for the city, my family was relatively unscattered, and by the time I left for Europe, most of the city had been rebuilt. It makes for good storytelling, particularly since my audience has never experienced a quake. I start reminiscing about all the other unique things about my hometown, the cable cars, the Chinese market, the rolling hills. He particularly likes the story of my friends and I using a crate on wheels to skate down said hills, nearly crashing into an apple cart in the process. He calls me Draufgänger, which I take to mean daredevil after his explanation of me being absolutely fearless. I'm sorry, my German friends, I do not know a single word in Deutsch. Yes, sorry. I actually could have learned it, as I said. The thing is, Deutsch is very different from my own language. It's even different from English too, which is like, it's one of those where you need to put the verb at the end of the phrase. So the way you create the sentences is totally different from what we are used to. Okay, yeah. He's quick to compliment, and it actually goes in the same structure that Latin has. And I actually had Latin, and it was probably like the worst language I could have taken. Yes, it was Latin. Yeah, I was really bad with it. Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm good. Latin is like the root language of most of the languages in here, So I was like, yeah, and I regret. Yeah. But Latin has that too, which is like you need to put the verb at the end of the sentences. And Deutsch has the same thing. He's quick to compliment me and expressive as I tell him my stories, an avid listener. An hour or two passes like this, him following along, asking more questions about my life, offering the occasional joke, and volleying with me. It's pleasant. I see him check his pocket watch. We're a little over halfway there, I think. I'm feeling a little parched. How about you? A coffee or tea would be lovely. If you are up for a little adventure, we could seek out the dining car. Lead the way, mein Herr. As he takes me through the train cars, he keeps glancing back at me and then smiling to himself. I find myself doing the same. In fact, my cheeks are sore from all grinning. I've talked to plenty of men before, but never without a name. This is different. It feels as though we could be friends. After all, we have no shortage of conversation. It's a shame I'll have to leave him behind when we reach Basel. I don't know if it's Basel, Basel. I don't know. I feel like I could go on forever like this. When we reach the dining car, we take a seat for two and Anton orders us a coffee. His French is actually not so bad as he claims. Seems he is modest. I stir the sugar into my coffee, then offer a cube to him. He takes 3. Oh my god, he likes sweets. Quite the sweet tooth you have there. Too few things in life are sweet. Present company accepted, of course. You must take sweetness where you can find it. That's a lot of philosophy to put into a cup of coffee. But I can't disagree. The best thing is to just take a piece of chocolate and stir it right into the coffee. What? Steam, yeah, you really should try it, especially once you get to Switzerland. Yeah, I'm seeing it. Swiss chocolate is to die for. Do you have any other Swiss recommendations? Saffron risotto, it is a specialty. Saffron. It is a spice that looks like little red threads. People call it red gold because the threads must be hand-picked from the center of a small purple flower that only blooms in the fall. That makes it hard to come by. But the red is such a beautiful color, not unlike your hair. Normally, I don't like people commenting on my hair. It always makes me feel self-conscious. When he does it, though, somehow I don't mind. The saffron turns everything that cooks with it to a brilliant orange, yes. And it smells almost like honey. That sounds like heaven. It is. His gaze lingers on me a moment as I sip my coffee. I realize with some embarrassment that he's watching my lips. I blush, but he just smiles. I have to say, I don't think I've had a more pleasant train ride. He pauses, mulling over his words. Anton? Suddenly he waves his hand. His reverie is seemingly broken. It's nothing. He changes the subject, asking me about where else in Europe I've been. I want to know what he was about to say, but it seems unpolite to press it. He pays for our coffees and we head back to our seats. I catch myself smiling as we happen upon each way in which our opinions match. There is something so easy about Anton, almost familiar. Not in the sense that we've met before, I wouldn't forget a man like this, but in the sense that he wouldn't seem out of place if I met him anywhere in my life. So much of the propaganda I've seen demonizes Germans, makes them seem alien. No doubt there have been brutal acts committed in this war, away from the battlefield, though the German people are probably not so very different. As I'm carried away by this line of thought, we fall into a comfortable silence. Anton catches me giving him a considered look. I'll give anything to know what you are thinking right now. Anything. Within reason. I grin, but my eyes is drawn to the rushing scenery out of the window. I was wondering what you are like outside of this train. How you spend your days. I see his reflection frown. I'm sure that can be interesting to you. You wanted to know what I was thinking. That's the truth. And you did say you'll give anything. So I think I'll take my payment in the form of an answer. I'm tired of talking about myself. Well, most of the time goes to work. It sounds like you don't like your work. I don't particularly. And when I'm at home, I'm doing what I can to keep my family happy. A life of obligation and duty. There is something a little lonely in his eyes, and it feels contagious. He's talking about it goes all to his family. Does he have like a family? Are we going to have like another triangle going on in here like the other one? I don't know. My life isn't free of duties and obligations either, but I don't want to think of any of that now. I'll much rather forget them and just be in the moment. I notice Anton has joined me in looking out the window. His solemnity leaves me feeling a bit guilty. I didn't mean to make you sad. For a split second, he seems surprised, but then he shakes his head with a smile. You did no such thing. It's my fault. My mind drifts to the negative, and well, it catches one off guard. Can I share something with you? Something that might sound a bit selfish? I shift myself in my seat to face him head on. Every day I do one thing that is entirely for myself. Every day? Every day, I'll give myself an extra 10 minutes in the bath, or I'll take the long way home so that I can stop at the bakery that does the best croissant. Don't laugh, they are very good croissants. Such a hedonist. I slap his shoulder playfully. You ought to give it a try. Promise me you will. I find myself clutching at his sleeve, asking with far more earnestness than warranted. He surveys me with amusement before answering. Are you sure you wouldn't rather ask for something else? I tip my head, puzzled by the question. Because I think I'll promise you just about anything right now. Ooh. I feel myself grow hot. I force my eyes to my lap to avoid his penetrating gaze, knowing I might melt if I meet it. I can't remember the last time a man made me feel shy. I brush off most advances with an eye roll. But Anton's words make me break into a wide grin. He leans over, attempting to catch my eye, clearly tickled by my reaction. Why are you looking away like that? Have I said something awkward? No. It just made me happy. As our train comes to a stop, I find myself throwing darting glances at Anton. He returns them with smiles, pleased at his effect on me. We stand and start gathering our belongings. I find my hat box stowed on the luggage rack just out of my reach. Anton has no trouble retrieving it for me. It's a good thing I made friends with someone so tall. I hope I brought more to the table than my height. When you are as short as I am, 5 hours of conversation is a small price to pay to ensure I'll get my things back at the end of the journey. I should have seen it coming. Indeed. So the question is now, do I continue allowing you to use me or let you manage on your own? Your assistance would be greatly appreciated in this matter, mein Herr. He mocks giving the matter consideration until I start baiting my lashes at him. Well, I can't say no to that. With that, he picks up my bags and escorts me through the train car. As we exit the train, he is the picture of a gentleman, offering his hand to assist not only me, but also the tipsy nun and her sleepy companion. The nuns are still in here. Through the joking and teasing, his arm is strong and steady. Just being with him is so pleasant that I almost forget where we are. The crowds on the platform seem to vanish from my periphery as we walk side by side. It isn't until we come to an halt that the haze lifts. He looks reluctant and he sets down my bags. Well, Lillian or Lillian, I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it like in here. Like, should I use the English? Should I use the French? I don't know. This is where we must part. My heart sinks. Those words shouldn't be a surprise. Things were always going to end this way. It was inevitable. But I foolishly hadn't acknowledged it much until now. It takes a moment for reason to return to me. Was an unexpected pleasure, Anton. He smiles wistfully. Where will you go from here? Home, back to Berlin. I nod, unsure of what to say now. A silence descends on us, and Anton starts to look sheepish and uncomfortable. The confidence that seemed so much a part of Anton before leaves me. He stares at his feet for a moment before finding my eyes again. I don't suppose that I could write to you. My mouth goes dry. All of the reasons why such a correspondence would be out of the question suddenly flood my mind. I work for the Deuxième Bureau. I can't just exchange letters with someone from an enemy state. For everything that Anton is, sweet, funny, and a perfect gentleman, it doesn't change the fact that he is also a German national, and we are at war. As much as I don't want to, we have to part ways now. Continuing our acquaintance is out of the question. I fumble for a gentle way to put him off. My situation in Paris isn't really permanent, and I don't know where I will go next. He looks the way I feel, crestfallen. If I didn't have other responsibilities, as it stands, I have no choice but to turn him down, and I can't even offer him a proper explanation. I watch his face and my gut wrenches. I see. Well, if you ever find yourself in Berlin, perhaps you could look me up. Reaching into his breast pocket, he pulls out a card and hands it to me. Oh my god, Schutzmann, Anton Schutzmann, Almstenstrabe, Berlin. I don't know if that, did I say it right? Schutzmann Stahlwerks, the family business. Oh, I didn't actually saw it. Sorry. Can I? Yeah, cannot. Well, it's fine. If you contact the office, they'll know how to reach me. Sure, if I'm ever in Berlin. I agree, though I know it to be extremely unlikely. The war would have to end, and it won't be over anytime soon. He probably thinks the worst of me now. I want to kick myself. Yeah, so? I hope you enjoy your visit with your uncle. How visitors doesn't, I don't know how to say it. It's goodbye, but I don't know how to say it. How visitors doesn't, I don't know. God, whatever. Goodbye, Lillian. Goodbye, Anton. He opens his mouth like he has something else to say, but opts for a tip of his hat instead. He turns on his heel and soon disappears into the crowded platform. As I stare at the spot Anton was a moment ago, a curious sense of loss washes over me. I've always looked at my career with the Deuxième Bureau as something that would free me from the confines of a normal life. I never thought about things that I would miss out on, like meeting someone by happenstance and pursuing that relationship. My life isn't really my own anymore. I stare down at my feet, not quite willing to move. I have to go, I know I do, but I'm stuck where I stand. If I take a step, then my mission officially begins. This is what I wanted, though, since the moment Margot sat me down and presented the idea of training under her. I've been working diligently to get where I am now. So why am I torn? She promised me excitement, but more importantly, she promised me that what I did would have an impact. All that is coming true now that I'm on a mission and someone's life is in my hands. Herbert Denham is counting on me. I can't falter. Not now that I'm at the precipice. Putting Anton Schutzmann behind me, I take a deep breath and start walking across the platform. First thing first, I need to send word back to Margot. Heading to the concourse, I search for a telegraph exchange. Et pas la gare à procéder seule. She is actually saying... Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's in here. Sorry. Not at the station, proceeded alone, yes. She's like saying, okay, it's Emile. Emile pas à la gare à procéder seul. Okay. At least now Margot will know what happened. Maybe she can figure out Emile's whereabouts. With that taken care of, I prepare to enter enemy territory, Germany. The Badischer Bahnhof is an odd train station. It technically resides on the Swiss side of the Rhine. I think you say Rhine. I don't actually know. I think you say Rhine. I don't know. But a series of subterranean tunnels lead to the German border. I follow the posted signage until I reach the back of a long line. Bitte halten Sie Ihr Papier bereit. Please have your papers ready. It used to be that you could cross borders without any trouble. Since the war broke out, entering most countries requires some sort of travel documentation. I pull out my passport and check it. There should be no issue with mine. After all, Germany is not at war with America. But the last stamp shows that I've been staying in France. Will that be an issue? The line creeps forward slowly as the guards check each person's papers. I'm almost to the front of the line now. Just stay calm. Not next, whatever. A bored civil servant. Let's hope his ennui has left him inattentive. I report to the window and slide my passport under the glass. The guard inspects it for a moment before giving me an expectant look. And your travel license? What? You need a passport and a travel license to enter. But I don't have a license. Then you will have to go back to... He glances back at my passport. Paris. I don't have time to go all the way back to Paris. I've got to think of something fast. I'm sorry, miss. Please step out of line. I need a reason to be here that is time sensitive. Maybe I'm still visiting relatives, but someone is on their deathbed. I must see my uncle, though. He's sick. The guard looks at me with exhaustion, but I can see there's a dash of pity there as well. I'll use that. I turn my face away for a moment and gently rub my eyes. Hopefully it reads like I'm trying to compose myself. I don't know how much you are going to get with dramatics against the German people. They usually are not the type to go along with that kind of thing, but we'll see it. When I look back at him, I keep my eyes wide and will myself not to blink. Right on cue, they start to water. He's very sick. Thinks sad thoughts. What if I don't make it back in time? The tears start to flow down my cheeks. I quicken my breathing. I can't. I hear grumbles of impatience from the people waiting in line behind me. The guard looks deeply uncomfortable. Either he will let me through to avoid the scene, or he'll have to get someone to escort me away. As I'm gearing up for my next push, I feel a hand on my back. What's wrong? It's Anton. I can let her through without a license. He turns from the guard back to me. The warmth I remember him for is completely absent now. His bronze eyes bore down at me, scrutinizing. I start to move my mouth, but words refuse to come. I had told him that my uncle was in Switzerland. Yeah, but she's going to Germany. A dumb mistake. Will he call me out on it here? His expression lacks any indication of what he's about to do next. Yeah. I mean, remember that when I read the description of the game, they were like saying that they are all like spies. So I bet Anton is also a German spy. So yeah, maybe he seemed to be kind and all of it, but he's also like probably acting like a spy. I level my gaze, imploring him silently. Surely an exception can be made. Is he helping me? He steps between me and the window. I'm grateful for the shield his back provides, as it gives me a moment to recompose myself. Just this once. I see him pull something from his jacket and slide it under the glass. I try to peer over his shoulder to catch a glimpse, but I'm not quite tall enough. The guard looks over whatever was just handed to him and pales. She's an American. She doesn't know any better. I'll vouch for her. Oh. What is this going to imply for us? Are we going to be owning Anton? Kind of makes me think, because it's probably like that. Yes, sir. Wait, what just happened? The guard slides everything back under the glass to my rescuer. As he turns back to me, I see my passport on top of the stack. All right, please proceed. What kind of person has that much sway? Who exactly is Anton? He places his hand on my lower back and guides me through the turnstile. Turnstile, I think it's turnstile. The crowds on the German side of the station are thinner and full of armed soldiers. Fortunately, they pay us no mind as we hasten down the corridor. His hand is still fixed firmly on my back, urging me along. We stop in front of the public telephones, none of which are currently in use. Seemingly satisfied that we are far enough away from the checkpoint, he unfolds my passport. Lillian Sinclair. I look up at him expectantly. Isn't he going to give me my passport back? Why is he reading it? Just as I open my mouth to ask, he fixes me with a look, not the soft honeyed gaze he gave me before, but a hard, stony one. It makes my blood run cold. I didn't think we would be seeing each other again. Nor I. At least not so soon, right? I offer a cheapish smile, but he doesn't return it. Yeah. I mean, he already understood that we lied to him. because supposedly we were going to Switzerland because of an ankle, and now we were saying in German that we were going in there to visit our sick uncle. The man is inspecting the passport now is completely different from the one who sipped coffee with me in the dining car just hours ago. I wouldn't have thought the same man would treat me so coldly now. Suspicion has transformed him. But he did still help me, I think, though I'm not sure how he managed to do it. I still don't know if he's helping us or if there is something that he's going to ask us. I attempt to re-engage him with a tentative question. Anton, how were you able to get me past that guard? Anton doesn't look up. He seems to be checking every line. Nevertheless, he answers, albeit brusquely. I bribed him. Security in this country is a joke. Lillian, what are you doing here? There is a faint tinge of exasperation on his voice, as if he's inconvenienced in some way. Like I told you before, I'm visiting my uncle. Yes, in Switzerland. But here you are in Germany. My pulse begins to quicken. Why the hell did I ever make up that story? He was supposed to meet me at the station, but I couldn't find him. Luckily, he left word with the station master that I'm to meet him in Loroch. He narrows his eyes, but says nothing. He took heel very suddenly. I'm told there is a very good doctor here who can treat him. Must be a serious illness to put you in such a state. Yeah, this just isn't a good story. I mean, he's healed and he still needs to be the one that is coming to the station to get to her. Yeah, it doesn't work out. His family, of course, I'm upset. With each prodding question, I spit out another lie. Yeah. A panic begins to surge inside me that, combined with the betrayal I feel, might be enough to make me crumple. How long can I keep this up? Oh, I'm getting very hungry in here. Is this the end of the demo or something? Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. So what do I have to say? I liked it quite a lot. I really liked it. I wish the text box was a little bit different, but I always wish the text box was a little bit different. I am picky with that. And I think it's because it really strains my eyes and I keep like going one side to the other when I'm reading, and I don't like that. But in terms of like visuals, and even in terms of the script, I really liked it. There were moments that I felt like I was totally engaged in it, you know? And yeah, of course, the French part is easier on me. The Deutsch part is not easy on me because I don't know that language. So yeah. Would you like to go back and make another choice? Actually, we are going to stay in here, okay? Because I need to eat something. My stomach is like killing me. I don't even know if you're not listening to. Yeah, and I have to. So, but yeah, I really liked it. And this one is like totally out. We can get it. And play the full game. So I hope you enjoyed it too. I'm going to leave the link in the description as I usually do. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you very much.